The one major criticism that a lot of fans had with the sequel trilogy's end, specifically at the very end of Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was how Rey was the one that defeated Palpatine and sort of undid the prophecy of the Chosen One, where Anakin was the one who ended the Sith once and for all at the very end of Return of the Jedi. Now, of course, it's obvious that Anakin is one of the most beloved characters in all of the Skywalker sagas, right? We have seen him really go through a lot of different phases, from a child to becoming a young adult to becoming an established adult, and his transition to becoming Darth Vader, and even as a Force ghost, and even in the Clone Wars flashback in the Kenobi series. Now Lucasfilm wants to do something entirely new. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, like I said before, we have seen many forms of Anakin Skywalker, but there's one in particular that we have never seen before in live action, that Jon and Dave are now building up towards for a new Star Wars TV show that they are planning to get out sometime by 2025. They want to begin working on it by 2024, which is basically almost going to be next year since it's almost 23. When you look at everything with Anakin, alright, we have seen child Anakin, we have seen young adult, established adult, even of course the unmasked, reformed version of Vader when he becomes Anakin again. So we've seen many iterations of the character, but one in particular, of course, is very complex. Let's get into it. Now, a lot of this is going to involve a very big movement for Hayden, for ILM, who provides a lot of technology, etc. Now, with both Jon and Dave working on over 12 Star Wars shows at once, there is one in particular that they are getting ready to develop that is set to showcase an entirely new, different version of Anakin. Now, it's noted that both Jon and Dave have already storyboarded many pieces for their new mystery series that is set to recast Anakin Skywalker that was supposed to be used on Hayden Christensen, with ILM's new tech to de-age him into becoming a young teen in this particular show. However, as of now, Jon and Dave have decided to do a major recast of Anakin, since the ILM tech is not 100% just yet. The new series and the storyboard that they created features both Obi-Wan Kenobi and a 13-year-old Anakin Skywalker fighting off large creatures inside of a cave. These creatures are said to look like wampas, however stand on all fours. Now, Anakin likes, of course, this particular moment and really kind of shows the fans his abilities with the Force. On top of this, Anakin appears like a combination of both Anakin in Episode 2 and Episode 3, except as a 13-year-old. His hair is semi-long and lifts, of course, one of the monsters up and tosses him into a river. Now, let me just pause here for a second. Now, this heavily mimics the stories of the comic lineup called Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi. In that comic lineup, you do get to experience more about a 13, or a young teen, I should say, Anakin Skywalker. And we've never seen anything like that before in live action. Now, I don't believe the comics specifically tell us what age he was, but this live action iteration of Anakin is set to be a 13-year-old Skywalker. So put this into perspective. At the very end of The Phantom Menace, you do see, Anakin by, of course, the celebration scene, and you do see him as a 9-year-old in there, and Jake Lloyd was playing him in that movie, and at the very end he's got that braid too. But what they're doing now is they're jumping 3 to 4 years ahead, either if he's in the early year of a 13-year-old or just becoming a 14-year-old, we're not quite sure, but 3 to 4 years later, and showing us a teen version of Anakin, where they are set to recast. They're looking at multiple actors right now as we speak. We talked about this briefly a couple of days ago. They're looking at multiple actors to portray the new version of Anakin. And you know what? At the end of the day, this may have been a better call to recast instead of using this revolutionary technology that can literally de-age a 40-something-year-old into becoming a teenager and plopping the head on top of a person's body. I think that this is a better choice. That's just my opinion. I think that recasting may have been the more practical decision on John and Dave's part. And you can see that John and Dave are perfectionists. They don't want to use a slightly flawed piece of technology. The ILM tech is not 100% there. It's not going to be 100% until at least another year and a half from now. They're working on it. However, let's tap into more of this. So, another storyboard involves Kenobi training the 13-year-old version of Anakin. Very similar to the flashback in the Kenobi series, except this takes place outside of the Jedi Temple, where they begin to clash their sabers. Now, the last illustration has both teen Anakin and Kenobi meeting with Master Yoda in some kind of meditation room where Yoda informs Anakin to let go of the thoughts about his mother and that it's been more than 3 years since he saw his mother, Shmi. The new series is set to release sometime in 25 and intended to be announced at D23 next year. So, what's really great about this is that we have never seen another actor play Anakin in a very long time. Alright, so it will be interesting, it will be entertaining. I am a little bit worried about who they're gonna get, I will be honest. But we have not seen a different actor play Anakin besides Jake Lloyd. Ever since, it's always been Hayden. And so, when you look at it like this, right? There's a lot of things pouring into this. Not only are John and Dave taking key notes from the Obi-Wan and Anakin comic lineup, but they are also kind of doing their own new material, showing us Kenobi and Anakin going on an adventure, fighting off these creatures, showcasing another duel, and also showcasing a meeting with Master Yoda. Now, this is not to say, by the way, that this entire show is about Anakin. This could very well be a cameo, if you will, the equivalent of Luke popping up or popping in and out of the Book of Boba Fett. It could be the equivalent of that. We're not quite sure exactly what the consensus of the show really is just yet, but that it will feature a teen version of Anakin. Hence, the show taking place in between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Should be very interesting. Now, obviously John and Dave care. They want to do some new, exciting things. They're already giving us teen Ahsoka in live action in the Ahsoka Tano series with a new actress portraying her besides Rosario. And I think that we're going to begin to go on a trend where you're going to see teen versions of these characters popping in and out of different series. And that's exactly what they're aiming for. You can see that that's exactly what they're trying to build up. So I think that this is really going to stamp itself into the memories of a lot of fans if done correctly. I mean, we have not seen a different iteration of Anakin in a very long time. So overall, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this. It's a very complex piece of technology that got disregarded, that is not allowing Hayden to actually play the young version of Anakin like this, so they are getting somebody else. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.